So hello and welcome to the recap of the 8th round of this year's league season. If you watched the last videos, you should know how the results after the 7th round were. So we had 7 wins in the 7 rounds. The teams behind us in the league table had 5 wins and 2 losses. So with just 2 rounds to be played, yeah, the worst that can happen is that they get exactly as much points as us. And yeah, in that case, the number of won boards or the number of points that you scored in all games together at an individual level are then taken as basically the tiebreak for the whole teams. So we won the first 5 rounds also very decisively. So we were also there up, but of course it's better to just win or at least draw a game to get enough team points and not to rely on tiebreaks or anything. So this was basically, yeah, like always, the task to try to get a team win. I mean, we were in this case still a bit the favorites. So I have here the ELO ratings at that time. So my rating, I mean, it still is 1904, but it was also then 1904, and my opponent was rated 1819. So we have a bit of an advantage, but it's not that big like in the first rounds. Okay, yeah. So this situation, we are slight favorites, but I mean it's still tough to win or keep it a draw. Before I give you the result, like always, I'm going through my game, show you how it worked or how I played, how my plans that are not that sophisticated work out. And yeah, so just let me start the game. I have the white pieces in this game. I start like, yeah, always with c4. My opponent plays knight f6, so you can see this will become some kind of King's Indian setup. I play knight f3, g6, g3, bishop g7, bishop g2, d6, knight c3, c6, castles, castles. Here I was not that sure what to play, so normally I know you play d4, but I somehow wanted to avoid that he plays d5. I don't know, I mean, it's not the most straightforward move in that position, yeah, but I decided then to play e4 first to a bit prevent d5. He plays normal moves, so e5. I play d4 now. He plays knight b to d7, so again normal moves now. I wanted to prepare bishop e3, so I played h3 to stop the knight to going to g4. Yeah, he developed the queen to c7, and I developed the bishop now to e3. Okay, also normal developing move, rook to e8, and here I decided to make the center a bit more clear. d5, and here also normal developing move, knight to c5. Okay, and yeah, okay, knight to c5 of course attacks the e4 pawn. So I kind of have to move the knight away from f3. I mean, I can also play something like queen to c2 maybe, but okay, it's not a terrible move, but a bit unusual. So yeah, because probably I want to have the queen somewhere like d2 or maybe c1, I don't know, and support the bishop on the diagonal, so that bishop can maybe go here for trade, or I don't know. But here I decided to develop the knight in a maybe bit strange way. I developed the knight to h2, so I wanted to develop it then forward to g4. Okay, so that was a pretty, yeah, I thought it was a normal move, but apparently it's not such a good move. My opponent plays a5, so gets some counterplay on the queen side, and now I make the normal continuation, so knight to g4. Yeah, so I would not be that unhappy with a trade. Can open H file, maybe to do some attacking on a H file. I mean, it's not that fantastic, but the computer also says I have something like 0.8 advantage. Okay, and now he plays a move a bit unexpected, knight to H5. I mean, relatively clear that he wants to push the f pawn to f5, but I mean, okay, he also moved the rook to e8, so it's not, yeah, the rook is kind of on a in the wrong file to support that push, but I mean, yeah, it's still normal plan. Yeah, and here I played, so maybe the follow-up move, that is the explanation why I played this move, but here I played knight to h6 for check. He plays, as I expected, the king to h1, and now you see the move why I wanted to place the knight to h6. I retreated to f5. And I thought, I'm very smart. This move, it works, so it's not really a sacrifice, because if you take here with the pawn, then the queen can take here, and then the black pawn structure in front of the king is just very bad, and I get the knight back. Right, something like this, and yeah, if he continues to take here, I mean, I can take here, and then the knight might go to g5 and threaten mate here, or when he trades, the bishop is here and I threaten mate here. So yeah, this looks not that great. So he cannot really take here, but he can make a move like bishop to f8, and bishop to f8, yeah, basically stops all the threats from the knight. So I cannot trade here. Also, the knight attacking the d6 pawn is not really a problem anymore. So before that, the threat was something like pawn takes g6, and then knight and queen are attacking this pawn. But now the pawn is additionally protected by the bishop, so I also cannot take here. So all the threats are kind of gone. And here in this situation, I really used a lot of time and think, oh, what can I do? What can I do? Okay, and then I did a thing that often happens when you spend a lot of time and try to think and, oh, what can I do? What can I do? You make a mistake. So what I did was then I played f4. And I mean, you can kind of see it. What's the problem? So the problem is when he trades here a knight with the bishop, this pawn is unprotected. Yeah, and the knight can just take it. So this loses at least a pawn, probably more, and also the pawns in front of my king are then traded or lost. So material loss and loss of king's safety, so it's really bad. So in that position, my opponent also thought a lot. And I was a bit hoping, okay, when he thinks that long, probably he did not see it. Yeah, that this works. Okay, then he plays bishop f5. So, okay, he plays the right move. I do not have much choice, so I have to take back. And then I was kind of expecting, okay, now he just takes the g-pawn. But he does not take the g-pawn. He took the f-pawn. He takes f4. So he obviously has not seen it. And okay, now there's one way to get back the advantage, and I found it. So the way is to give this intermediate check with the bishop, so that the bishop is not attacked anymore. can put the bishop in between or move the king. It doesn't really matter. So he decides to go here with the bishop. And okay, so there are now two different options. So either push the g-pawn and attack the knight, or make a trade. So I decided instead first trade here, so just get rid of a bit of the pawns in front of the opponent's king. He took back, and now I played g4, basically to kick out the knight and also yeah, give the rook the opportunity to take the f4 pawn. In this situation, he opted for some exchanges. So he took here with the bishop, I took with the queen, he moved the queen in between. Yeah, which, I don't know, somehow I did not really like it, because I wanted to have the queen on the board to go maybe for an attack on the king, but on the other side, I mean, here I really thought, okay, I probably win some kind of material or get some advantage, so going into an endgame with that advantage should also be not that bad. So, okay, and in the end, I do not really have any real choice anyway, so I have to take here. So trading the queen, so he takes back with the knight, obviously, to save the knight. And now it's important to play d takes c6, so not taking this this unprotected pawn, but taking this one, because you cannot take back. So you cannot play b7, b7 taking c6, bishop taking back, because then there is this fork, and I'm winning, yeah, one exchange, and he probably cannot protect that pawn either. So that is, yeah, this really hurts my opponent. But okay, now he has a chance to protect again this pawn. So he plays knight to e6, protecting this pawn. Also, yeah, these knights are now protecting each other. So yeah, it does not look that bad, and the number of pawns, I mean, it's still the same. So I'm not really up material. I mean, I have some kind of positional advantage, you could say, but okay, the f-pawn is also now protected by the knight. It's a passed pawn, so the computer says I'm 3.4. I'm having a 3.4 advantage. Oh, now 3.5. So computer says, oh, totally won for white, but how to do it? So hard to say. So I decided not to take the b pawn straight away, but to play knight to b5. So also to have the opportunity, I mean, not really to make a fork here on the rooks, because the knight protects it, but yeah, taking this square. Maybe I want to play c7 at some point and not taking here, I don't know. Also attacking this pawn, so it cannot be that horrible. Okay, my opponent decided to protect it with the d pawn, also fine. And okay, so in this situation, I thought, okay, I cannot really hold back the c pawn anymore, because now, yeah, this bishop fork does not work anymore, so I have to take here. Okay, I have to take here, and then this rook has to go to b8. I mean, it's attacked, it has to stop the pawn, yeah. And now the pawn is attacked twice. So here by the knight and by the rook. Okay, so I need to find a way how to stop him just winning the pawn. So now my trick is rook e1, right? Because the rook attacks this knight. The knight is only protected by this knight, so this knight cannot take the pawn. Pretty straightforward idea. So, okay. What is happening now? So what he is doing is bringing the king into the game. I mean, it's an end game. The king is close to the knight. When the king protects the knight, then he can take the b pawn. Huh? So, okay, it's a very logical approach. In this position, I made an intermediate move, bishop d5. So again, attacking this knight a second time, right? So now just protecting with the king doesn't work because the knight is attacked twice. So, I mean, okay, he has to, he also went king f6, so he has to protect the knight the next time, but now the knight is twice attacked and twice defended, but when the knight from c5 is taken here, same problem. I can just take that knight. So he still cannot take the b7 pawn. Okay. Now what else can you do? Yeah, put more pressure on the weak pieces. So I played e2 to further attack this knight. Or maybe at some point I can also opt for bishop takes and just give up that pawn and somehow attack. Yeah. Okay, at the moment it does not work. The f pawn is too much protected, and putting the second rook to the e file, yeah, probably it's stronger when the bishop is still there, but okay. So what is my opponent doing? My opponent is opting for rook d7, so bringing just another attacker on the b pawn. I mean, as long as my bishop is located here, taking with the rook, yeah, is probably not the best idea. I mean, okay, he can give a rook for the passed pawn and a bishop, so it's a way of exchanging material that might make sense in some situations, but okay. He also has a plan that I did not understand or did not figure out at that point. Knight to c7. I did not see that. Yeah? Knight to c7 to attack my knight and my bishop. So, okay, I did not figure that out, that this also works. Okay, and here I played the rook to e1, so f to e1, which is now a bit of a problem because now the f pawn is not attacked anymore. Yeah? So as long as both rooks, so as long as one rook is on the f file, you cannot really remove that knight because then the f4 pawn falls. Now, this pawn is not attacked anymore, both rooks are in e file. Now I can move the knight away. The computer was the last moves always screaming at me, make something like h4, g5, improve the pawn structure here a bit, and most importantly, prevent that g5 protects this passed pawn. Yeah, okay, I understand it, but okay, I did not see that during the game. Okay, now my opponent sees the opportunity and goes knight to c7. Okay, so here is the question a bit what to do with this situation. I aimed for bishop c6 just to attack that rook a second time, so that, I mean, he has to react. I just also wanted to keep that bishop on the board. Trading knight, not so bad, but keeping so trading knight for knight is not so bad, but trading my bishop for one of his knights, I did not want it. I thought the bishop is just stronger than the knight in the endgame, so keeping here is good. And also when he takes with the knight here, my pawn can take, so then I get a new passed pawn that is also protecting my bishop. So I thought that would be the best situation. Yeah, then he can take here the knight, or he did here take the knight, and here I was thinking about, okay, can I take the exchange? But I thought I cannot take the exchange because with this knight you can just go, I mean, I just show it. If I take, the knight can just go to d4. Computer says, oh, it's still a big advantage, but I mean, I don't know. I mean, the rook is attacked. There is a fork threatened, so I have to go here, and then he can just. Oh, why can he not take? Oh, no, I did not see that during the game. I thought he can just take here. But can he take here with the rook, and then the knight is attacked? So the king is in check, and the king cannot protect the knight because this rook is cutting the king off. So it has to be something like this. And okay, he wins back that pawn, but then I probably... okay, I can also take this pawn, but I would have probably played something like this. And then I'm up a pawn and an exchange. Yeah, okay. So, okay, it would have worked, but I thought during the game it would not work. And the computer also says the best move is what I played, taking with the pawn. Okay. Yeah, in this situation, my opponent played rook to c7. Okay, yeah, the computer is again screaming at me like, oh, play h4, g5, improve the pawns, stop him from protecting that pawn, and so on. But I did not see that, so I felt like, okay, infiltrating further into the opponent's position might be the key. So I played rook to e8, which is giving away half of my advantage. So it's still, yeah, +3 around. Still very good for me, but yeah, a lot worse than the computer gave me an advantage before. Okay, now my opponent traded once and then took that passed pawn. Now the question is what to do, how to advance or how to improve. If I figure out a few moves later a plan that might have worked in this situation pretty well, but here I just thought, okay, what is the only piece that's not really activated? It's the king. So just, it's an endgame, let the king play. So move the king to f2. And now my opponent plays, a smart move, just g5. Now this pawn is well defended. It's really hard to do something against it. I mean, okay, you can probably play at some point just h4 and say, okay, when you take, this pawn is unprotected, I can take it. I have to prepare it probably with king f3. And then you have two pawns on the h-file. They are pretty weak, can be easily attacked, cannot protect each other. Okay, but it would have been better if I would have stopped the g5 move. Okay, so I play now, again, an intermediate move. Rook to f8, so my opponent retreats, so that was everything I wanted. King g7, and now I play the move that would have been a lot better a few moments before. Rook to a8, so the idea is rook attacks the a5 pawn, also the rook can go to a7 and pin everything, so I should win again a pawn. So currently material is equal. Computer gives me plus 2.9, but material is equal, so somehow I need to win material again. Okay, now the opponent played knight to c5, and I just took the pawn, which is not such a good move because now my opponent can play knight to d3 and play a fork on my king and my pawn. And okay, now it's complicated. Now it's complicated because in that situation you need to really understand what the dangerous ideas in that position are. And I didn't really understand it. So I only thought about, okay, better try not to run into a dangerous fork, not to go somewhere to the e-file, stay close to the f4 pawn that I need to stop with the king. I mean, okay, bishop stops it, but I don't know, maybe at some point he can sack the rook and then the pawn runs, I don't know. So I played king to f3. And this is, well, probably not the worst move in the position, but this is a move that allows a sequence of moves for my opponent that are, very good, let's say it. So I expected something like, okay, knight takes the b pawn, and then my plan was actually moving the rook back to a3, sideways to b3, and then just pushing the b pawn. And maybe I need to support it with the a pawn, but I thought, okay, two connected passed pawns, I just push them at some point. Okay, but in this position, there is one move and my opponent found it and I did not realize how good it was in that moment. Rook to e7. Right. And I thought, okay, it's a bit annoying. You can play rook to e3. Yeah, I understand it. This is it's a check, but okay, my pawn is running, so he cannot really do something, right? That was my assumption. And here you see, okay, I make the move with the plan, like I told you just a few moments ago. I played rook to e3 with the idea of putting the rook to b3 after the knight took here and support the push of the b pawn, right? And if he plays knight takes b2 or yeah, nearly every other move, I'm clearly winning, except of one move. That's the second move that my opponent found. I mean, it's one idea, so he found the one idea, but yeah, he found all moves in a sequence. This is rook to e3, right? And okay, I just have one move. It's king to g2, and now he plays rook to e2. This position I have technically more than one move, but I mean, in the end, it's all the same. King f1, he gives me a check. King g2, he gives me another check. And okay, here, yeah, we agreed to a draw because, I mean, in the end, I cannot do anything. I waited for a bit and calculated an idea. So my idea was putting the king to the h file, so he needs to continue checking. Putting the king to h2, he checks, and then going here with the bishop. So the funny thing is, the computer now says this is still mostly a draw. So black has no way to win that. I calculated and thought this was winning for black. So I feared that he goes here. Okay, so this is not really working because it takes here, check, check. The king goes back and the king takes here, and I'm actually a bit surprised now. It's nearly looking like white could win. So you play this move, take here, and what's the problem? Yeah, okay, I cannot allow. The problem is I cannot allow f2 in this situation. Yeah, if I push here and f2, then he wins the pawn back. And if the king goes here, what's the problem with the king going here? Okay, then you're going on the other side. Okay, and when you take here and play it like this, the king is faster at this pawn. And when you trade, the d pawn is passed. So, yeah. Okay. Still hard to see, but okay. But the computer also has another suggestion after bishop to g2. So the computer prefers putting the knight here. Yeah. And when the pawn is running, it's a check. King goes down. And now you take here. Okay, and when he protects here, you still take b7. Oh, and now the trick that makes it work is knight to f3, because this threatens rook h2 mate. And when you take here, yeah, you protect it. So yeah, it's something like this. And now this should be a draw, but black is having an extra passed pawn. So okay, so yeah, this is those are two variations. So I went just for the simple repetition. Okay, I mean, at that point in time, not that many of our games finished, so it was pretty unclear what the situation was, if we were winning, if we were losing. But okay, so I mean, I felt like the best I can do here is just taking the repetition. I thought everything else was losing. Okay, apparently everything else is still a draw, but okay. I could not calculate everything in that time. So just let me go back to the situation before I do this check. Because I just want to explain you why different king moves than f3 are actually working. They are not causing a draw, right? So, for example, when you go king to g1, and then you play this rook move, then there is one move that saves you, that is bishop to g2. And when he plays now rook to e1, can just block, and the knight cannot really do something. I mean, it still looks pretty dangerous. I mean, what do you do after f3? Okay, you just ignore it. You just ignore it. Just push the pawn. And this is not doing anything. Okay. And now you even have a problem because the knight is hanging. You can't take the knight. Okay. Yeah, you can stop the pawn for a while. Or can you even stop the pawn? Ah, yeah, you can stop the pawn because this does not. I mean, yeah, is it no? This is not working because of rook e8, but it's still winning when you play a bit smarter. You either play a4 straight away, or you can also take that pawn in between. The rook has to go either on b file to stop it from this way, or go to e8 to stop the pawn from here, but then you just push the second pawn, and the two pawns, when they are connected and supported by the bishop, are just too strong. Okay, this would work. Okay. And the other option that you have is going with the king closer to the center, to the knight. I really felt not very confident about that, so forcing the knight to take here. Okay, and then playing a6. So this was actually a move that I considered, because the only important thing is to stop the rook from coming to the b file. So if black plays something like an intermediate move, I thought you can play this. Oh no, you can't. Oh, you can't, because taking here and moving forward, now the rook blocks the b6 square, but you can play very smart intermediate moves. You can play here. Yeah, and now you have still a perpetual. This is still a perpetual. Yeah, if you play something like this, and now when the king runs to e4, this is probably losing. Yeah, because now the king can, the rook can stop the pawn. So this is losing. So you're basically forced to stay on the 3 last ranks, and then it's just a perpetual. Yeah, I mean, there are so many interesting variations in that endgame that, yeah, I had no time to analyze. Or I mean, I did not see that he has this forced draw after basically after this move and king f3. I did not see that, but okay, I mean, that's it. He found a nice forced draw, and I did not consider any such drawing trick. So fair that he got the draw here. I mean, also at the beginning of the game, I kind of lost the game when I played the f4 move. So I mean, I can be happy with the draw. It's yeah, I made some mistakes, so it's a bit more than deserved, you can say. But yeah, so this was the result. I made now here a draw, and the result of the whole team was in the end also a draw. So this means that after the 8th round, we definitely got the promotion to next higher league with just this one point that you made. So it's a 4 team result. And okay, there is still one round to play, round 9. I still will make the recap of that round 9 game, and make after round 9 probably an extra video to make a recap of the whole season and also an outlook to the next season that is starting not that far in the future. Okay, so when you enjoyed my recap, you can also subscribe to the channel, then you don't miss any new episodes when I upload them. And so then I wish you a good weekend, and I hope you watch my next video also.